Bluey's show is at its peak right now, but even the best shows sometimes have small animation slip-ups. In this video, some of the funniest errors that slipped past the animators are highlighted. Take, for example, the episode Dirt. In it, Judo really wants to play in the dirt with Bingo and Bluey, but she's not allowed to get messy. Later, she's sitting on the steps in front of her house, looking pretty upset. Now, here's the interesting part. If you pay close attention, right when Wendy sits next to her to offer some comfort, Wendy's tail goes straight through the steps. It only lasts for the briefest moment, but it's definitely there. It's one of those little animation quirks that's easy to miss, but it's quite amusing when you catch it. Another hilarious mistake shows up in the obstacle course episode. In this one, Chili sets up a fun obstacle course in the backyard for everyone to enjoy. But of course, Bandit turns it into a competitive race. Bluey and Bingo are determined to beat him, trying every trick they can. While Chili is training Bluey to climb the ladder and touch the tree trunk, a small animation error occurs. At first, when Bluey reaches the ladder, there's no shadow underneath. But as she climbs up, her shadow suddenly appears. The funny part comes when she climbs back down. The shadow stays put. It's as if her shadow decided to hang out at the top of the ladder. And even funnier, at one point, Bluey has two shadows on the ground at the same time, almost like her shadow wanted to join in on the obstacle course too. In the episode Pirate, there's a really funny animation mistake that's easy to miss unless you're paying close attention. While Bluey and Bingo are playing pirates and holding onto a rope, there's something a little strange about Bluey's spots. On one side of her tummy, you can see two of her purple spots, and on the other side, there's just one. At first glance, you might think, well, Bluey has 3 spots, so that's perfectly normal. But here's the odd part. All 3 spots seem to be showing up on different sides of her belly at the same time. But the fun doesn't stop there. During the same pirate adventure, Bandit, who is playing the role of a big blue whale, gets a bit embarrassed. He's been making whale noises as part of the game when suddenly another dad and a pup show up at the park to use the swing set. Then something really strange happens. Everything behind Bandit, including the other dad, the pup, and even the swing, completely vanishes. 1 second they're there, and the next, it's as if the blue whale has swallowed them whole. There's a hilarious little mistake in the Dirt episode, and it's kind of similar to the one in the Horsey Ride episode where Bandit's face ended up looking a bit odd. This time, the funny moment happens while Bluey and Bingo are having an absolute blast playing in a gigantic pile of mud. They're getting as messy as possible, having the best time ever. Judo, on the other hand, has to go home because she's not allowed to get dirty, and that's when Bandit comes in with the hose. He decides to spray down the mud pile with water to make it even messier, but as he does, he accidentally sprays Bluey and Bingo instead. Now here's where the animation mistake happens. It's really easy to miss because it's super quick, but if you pay attention, right at the moment when the water hits Bluey's face, her fur disappears entirely. For just a split second, Bluey's face is completely bald. In the Magic Xylophone episode, there's another fun moment with Bandit, Bluey, and Bingo. They're pretending the xylophone has magic powers that can freeze people, and they freeze Bandit while he's in the garden. They cover him with toys and plushies, and it's hilarious. But when they unfreeze him and Bandit throws all the toys to the ground, a small animation error appears. Later in the scene, when they go back to the garden, all the toys have vanished. It's like the toys disappeared into thin air. There's no way Bluey and Bingo could have cleaned up that fast. They'd need super speed to make it happen. There's another strange and amusing moment in the Moms and Dads episode. In this scene, Indy and Rusty are playing pretend, acting like they're grown-ups. They get into a bit of an argument about who should have the job, and neither of them can agree. That's when Indy decides to pretend that she's looking for a babysitter, and Bluey jumps in, pretending that Rusty is her baby. To really sell the idea, Bluey even goes as far as dressing Rusty up in baby clothes, which is pretty funny on its own. But then comes the odd part. While Bluey is chasing Rusty around with a stroller, something strange happens. As they run past 2 kids playing on a swing, you might notice something a little off. These 2 kids are actually from Bingo's school. But the thing is, Bluey and Bingo go to different schools, so these kids shouldn't be there in the first place. It looks like the animators got a bit mixed up, accidentally putting Bingo's classmates in Bluey's school setting. In the library episode, there's a really funny scene where Muffin comes over to play, and Bluey takes on the role of a librarian, showing Muffin around as if they're in a real library. Meanwhile, Bingo is sitting quietly in the background, comfortably reading her book on a big beanbag. Everything seems perfectly normal, but then comes the hilarious and strange part. When Bluey and Muffin pretend to take a picture of Muffin for her library registration, something odd happens. If you look closely, you'll notice that Bingo and the beanbag she was sitting on completely disappear from the background. It's like they both went off on a secret adventure while nobody was looking. But the funny little oddities don't stop there. A bit later in the same scene, Muffin is shown sitting on the same beanbag that Bingo was on earlier, surrounded by a bunch of scattered books. However, when Bluey and Bingo head to the kitchen and then return, Muffin is suddenly sitting on a tricycle instead of the beanbag. And to add to the mystery, the books that were scattered around her have all moved to different spots as well. It's almost as if the beanbag and the books decided to have their own little adventure while everyone was busy. So, those are just some of the funny little animation mistakes that pop up in Bluey's adventures. They're easy to miss, but once you spot them, they're pretty entertaining. Hope you enjoyed catching these with me. See you in the next video. Bye.